Hey folks, good afternoon and welcome to today's video. Today, I guess I should probably address what happened on the channel. I posted a little video from my channel and it blew up. I'm not sure why it blew up, but it's one of the most divisive videos and comment sections I've seen. It is completely split 50-50 on likes and dislikes, and it's completely split 50-50 on comments. For every one brilliant comment of like, yeah, I agree, there's always one like, bro, you look like you work in a trailer park and you're gaslighting and you're an idiot and you're trash and all of this, right? There's nothing in between. And I think that's the message I wanted to get out there. That was the whole point of the video. There is no in between. You're either on one side or the other, and it's becoming a joke. And I'll stand by that. There are people saying I have to apologize for Bay class because I judged or X and Y. No, I'm just reading titles. I am watching some clips and I'm forming my own opinion and sharing them. And obviously, as a relatively unknown channel, compared to these big streamers, people haven't heard that side of the story before, so it's been very divisive that there are people out there that do feel like, look, Path of Exile is in a bit of a shit state, but it's not all doom and gloom, and there are positives to be had. Such as the Atlas has improved a lot. There's been, X and Y done throughout the history of the game, and the general consensus I was getting was that I was basically some complete noob that has no idea what they're talking about, and therefore I shouldn't voice my opinion. Now, let me be clear, I'm not here to argue. I'm not interested in what people think about me or some streamer reacting to my video. I'm not really bothered about that. Everyone has their right to form an opinion and have a laugh at me or agree with me. That's cool. I'm not here to say you're bad or X or Y. I was just forming my own opinion on these people. There are so many comments here that it would take me the rest of my life to respond to every single one in a detailed way. So I guess I will just say that this kind of comment section is exactly sort of showcasing what I was talking about. The greater point wasn't X content, he said this, she said that, and that's why this is bad and this is good. No, it was more like there's no ability to be in the middle. You either on one side or the other. And I just wanted to address a few things. Like, people are effectively saying that my point's irrelevant because I'm brand new. Well, even if you're brand new to the game, your opinion does matter. It matters just as much as a streamer. Just because a streamer has more viewers or has done endgame, your opinion matters just as much. Everyone's just as important in terms of a video game. And I wanted to just show that for the longest time, I've done guides. I've done Essence League, I've had 100k Uberlab guide, I've done Scourge, I've done all of this stuff, right? Totem guides, we've done memes, we've done Ball Lightning where we've killed the Feared and Deathless, we've done level 95 hardcore characters, we've done videos about how to run Guardians for profit. And we've done, deck stacking throw with incredible gear. We've done skill empowers. We've done also the main thing I wanted to get across here is that people are trying to paint, and I'm okay. Like, you don't know who I am, and I'm not trying to big up my own gaming skill because who really gives a shit? What I'm trying to say is just because I've not been seen by you doesn't mean I'm some complete noob that has no concept of the game just because I have a different opinion. Here was a video last time that I made in June where I was basically explaining how to do double beyond delirium farming with temples, with time warp temples, where everything in the incursion is magic. I was basically spending 5 to 6 exiles every single map. I was having 6 of the best delirium orbs on the map, 5 of the best delirium orbs on the map. I was doing tier 16 tropical islands with like an absolutely insane build. I had a mage blood that I farmed for. There was everything humanly possible. I had a chess piece that I crafted that was like 1% attack speed per dex. We'll show you all of this stuff. And I understand what it's like to fully juice, and you can see me just crushing out divines here. And I understand that this aspect of the game has been heavily nerfed, and this is where you would generate a lot of the loot, and this is where a lot of the fun would come for, because a lot of players, I'm not going to say a lot, or should I say a small portion of players, would keep playing the game because they would think to themselves, hey, my build's got pretty good, but now I can take it to the next level. And now that next level is seemingly gone, or at least nerfed so much that people aren't wanting to sink as much time in to get to that next level. So I've done the things, I've been through the stages of doing, as we can see in this video, doing a white map, doing an alked map, a chiseled map, chisel and fragment, chisel fragment, sextant scarabs in the tree, delirium and scarabs, all of this stuff, right? I've done everything pretty much in the game, and just because I have a different opinion of how I think the game is right now, I'm not quite as, it's absolutely utterly trash and it's absolutely amazing. I'm kind of in the middle. That warrants some incredible amount of abuse on the YouTube channel. I don't think it does. I think Bex kind of sums it up well here. And this is all I was trying to get my point across was, look, there's been 12 days since the launch and 8 weekdays, and they've done 7 full development posts, 9 patches, and however many Reddit comments on top of that. They're communicating quite well, and there's been some changes and things are slowly improving, but people are trying to say that GGG don't care, that they've given up on the league, they've moved on, that it's the apocalypse, I've seen people say, and that there's no hope for the game, and the hype for Path of Exile 2 is gone and it's all killed and all of this. When the reality is, yeah, it's a bit of a bad patch. Arch Nemesis is annoying. It's annoying getting chased around by toxic stuff. And I'm not talking about my comment section, but you know what I'm saying? They are working on it pretty hard, and it seems to be like a lot of people are out of touch with just how much content is in this game and how hard they work. Again, I'm not a GGG shield. They've done some awful decisions down the road of the history of Path of Exile, and I want to show you, you know, you've just seen me farm deliriums, right? You've just seen me farm deliriums with you know, all the juice humanly possible, costing 5 to 6 exalts a map, and we've got the history of doing things like this. Like, this is me and my friends, like when the game just released on Steam, killing Dominus for the first time, having no idea what we're doing, having like weird UI flasks, dying all the time, having a Templar, having like, look at my build, Arc, Fireball, Flame Totem, Decoy Totem, Summon Spirits, the attack key binded to left mouse, all of this stuff, right? And this was like the very first time the game came out, and I've been there, right? So the idea that I'm some complete noob that has no idea what they're doing, I've been through the days of where you have to fight for your every single last thing, because there's no game, there's no drops in the game. I've been there, and I've been to the point where you can do double delirium farming and all of this crazy stuff, right? Now, the other sort of I won't say problem is that, oh, well, you don't do any crafting, so you have no idea what you're talking about. Again, I'm not trying to pick fault with people or like start an argument, but just because you've never seen sort of, you know, how would I say it? Just because you've never sort of seen my content doesn't automatically make me a complete noob. Yesterday I was playing Path of Exile and somebody messaged me and he said, hey, some streamers reacting to your video. It was a guy called Kobe Black Mamba. Shout out to Kobe. So I went in this chat and I had a bit of a joke. I said, hey, this GGZ guy's a moron. Like, it ain't that serious to me. This guy plays some Pee-wee, and what you'll see in the comments is everybody just relentlessly shitting. You can see he's smiling and laughing, and that's okay, mate. You can laugh whatever. But every single person in the comments was like, bro, this guy has no idea how to farm, he's a complete noob. And that's okay, mate, you know. But you can see I've in previous past times, I've done all the spreadsheets, I've done all of that. And what I'm saying is I've been through the range of games. I've seen the super beginning of Path of Exile, and I've seen the super high-end farming, and I've been through it all, and in my opinion, Path of Exile is a pretty good game. You've seen me farm for Omniscience, do carries, and all of this, and you'll see people say, you know, this guy's ugly, he's cooked, he's trying to clout, chase, he's mentally ill, this guy's clueless, what is he talking about? Tell me you've never played sports without... Like, what, bro? I've played sports. Like, what's that got to do with anything? Some dude in Twitch chat saying that my opinion's invalid because he thinks I've never played sports. This dude has 60 hours on Steam. When streamers don't have anything to do, they make drama. The reality was, I was just forming my opinion, and it actually seems like if you look at it, like 50% of people, if you actually look, pretty much agree it's split directly 50-50. And you've also got to think that when it's split 50-50, half of the people don't really comment, and half of the people, because they've not heard like a viewpoint like this before, they're not going out there to look for it, because most of the people are obviously like bashing Path of Exile non-stop, and they don't know that there are other kind of content out there. So you know, there's probably more and more people that feel like this, and when you see in the comments, there are a lot of people that feel that way. And I was just showing, like, when Kobe was streaming, saying, I don't know what Kobe was saying, in fairness, because I muted it because I don't like listening to myself. But I thought I'd better follow and say hi. You can see that when I go into standard, right? I go into standard, I load into standard here, and you can see Legacy Shiny Headhunter. I've got Legacy Tornado Shot. I've got the original Wind Ripper Quant gear, Legacy, you know, the Legacy Quant boots, the Shiny Headhunter. There you can see the Quant boots, 28 Quant. I've got the Quant gloves, the OG Wind Ripper with the Quant gem. I've done all magic finding as well. I've done that before, so I know what magic finding's like. We've got, this was just me flicking through my standard tab of mirrors. This was like each league I'd normally end up with like a blooming mirror. I've got mirrors sat in standard. I've got some crazy gear that I've crafted, and these people will sit there and they'll be like, bro, this guy has no idea what he's on about. And the reality is that most of the people wouldn't, when they say, oh, this guy knows nothing about Harvest, that's why he's okay with the nerfs. It's like, most of the people that were crying in Twitch chat, if I asked you, craft me that chess piece, they probably wouldn't know where to start. I've done crafting guides and all of that stuff, and I'm not trying to make it out like, hey, I need to defend myself, because I don't need to defend. It's just my opinion. That's all it is. It's my opinion on the game. I don't think the game is as bad as people are making out. It's not in a great state. Yeah, but you know, you can see I've got a mage blood there, and people are basically painting this picture of yeah, this guy has no idea what he's talking about, because he was I think somebody said oh, the reason he picked out steel mage is because steel mage was farming for mage blood, so obviously he's gonna quant cull or whatever it was, right? And it's like, that's not what it was. I was just giving an illustration of, look, there are a variety of people that play this game, and just because somebody thinks that, hey, the game isn't that bad right now, it doesn't mean that I'm some complete noob that has no idea how to play the game or craft gear or do deterministic crafting. I saw a comment, you know, just to give an example of like, oh, this guy's a absolute clown because he thinks that deterministic crafting is always worse than you know, RNG based crafting. He was basically trying to say that I don't mind a bit of RNG crafting, and I don't think it should all be deterministic, because then you can just make insane gear with a click of a button, and I don't think it all should be RNG. Like, I know how to make this ring, right? I could go into standard right now and remake this ring, and some people, for example, like, look at this ring I made, 79 life, 25 crit multi, cold damage, lightning damage, dex, mana cost, 66 dex, 58 in, and then a triple synthesized implicit. And I know how to make that. I could go ahead and repeat that step with like harvest and all of that stuff, and people will just immediately be like, oh, but he doesn't know what he's doing, when I've got a tab of stuff throughout the history of playing the game with like some insane gear that I've made and some insane gear that I've got just sat there. To say that because I have a different opinion, I'm some complete utter noob. You know, I've got like OG barrage projectile or whatever, and this was exactly my point. You know, look at that, man. When you used to be able to craft 72 spell damage with 12% non-chaos as extra chaos with hits can't be evaded, the old OG multi-mod. We've been through this situation. You know, I've been through all these situations when multi-mod got changed, and I wasn't a fan of that. But what I was saying was, there's been all of these changes in the game throughout the history of time, and I've never seen Path of Exile hated so much. And I've been through the days of where you had to manage an Elder Blob to get your Shaper level up orbs to upgrade your maps. And some people would get RNG luck, and they would get all of their shape robes in like day one, and sometimes your blob wouldn't move and you couldn't manage the thing and you were stuck with no shape robes for like a few weeks. You know, I've been through all of that stuff, right? So the idea that because I think, hey, it's not, the game isn't that bad, like it's not that trash, that it merits so much abuse, means that I'm some kind of fucking clown that has no concept of what they're doing, just simply isn't true. So I just thought, yeah, I could sit here and answer every single question, saying like, oh, you know, but the reality is, effectively, for every one person that says, hey, you're a complete idiot that has no concept of what they're talking about, there's also somebody saying, hey, it's really nice to hear a different opinion. Now, you've got to understand, having a small channel, when I made this video, it was literally whilst I was out of game in stream while streaming. It wasn't some heavily thought of video. It wasn't the most detailed video. And I just pulled up some examples of when I was streaming. I wasn't expecting it to get 500 comments, 400 likes, 11,000 views, right? I was expecting it to get 2 or 3 comments, and I was just having a chat with my stream. So obviously it wasn't the most detailed or the most well researched, but that's the thing. You've got to take these things with a pinch of salt. Like, it's not that deep. It's Path of Exile, and I think there are a lot of people out there still enjoying the game. They realise that Arch Nemesis is a pain in the ass, and the League mechanic's not that rewarding, but they also can recognise that GGG have done a ton of work. I'm sure it will improve, and I don't think it merits you know, absolutely shitting on me in the comments, to be completely honest. And I don't think it merits, you know, the entire Twitch chat saying, oh, this guy's, it's the first time he must have played softcore, he has no idea what he's doing. And it's like, come on, look, like, you could have scrolled through that, and for like literally like 30 minutes it was just everybody like shitting on me, what, because I have a different opinion. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. I've been in much worse communities than PoE. PoE actually has a fantastic community. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. There are so many things. If you sit and read the comment section, if you're bored, it's split 50-50. Whereas if you go on Reddit and if you go on YouTube, it's all bad. That was the point I was making. So yeah, it's not as bad as people make out. It doesn't make me some GGG apologist or like some delusional person. It just means that you know, a Balamage here saying, when they always say, oh, bring out the straw man or gaslighting or whatever, I don't disagree with that, all of your points, Balamage. What I was saying was, it's ridiculous to say like the game is utterly trash when you've made 3 characters, you've been playing it full time, and to say things like, when I was watching the podcast, the guy you were talking to would say something like, I don't think Magic Find's that difficult or that different as a playstyle, and all you kept saying was, have you ever played it? Have you ever played it? Have you ever played it? And it was like, that's how people responded to me. It was like, oh, well, you've never played the game. Well, I have played the game. I've got infinite worth in standard, pretty much, some insane gear. I've played the game since the beginning, pretty much. And yeah, I've been through all of the highs and lows of, from managing an Elder Blob to having to farm Dominus because that was the end game boss when bloody, think about this, when Dried Lake, yeah, is it not Dried Lake, sorry, I've even forgotten the name, Docks was the end game, and the fire dogs were overtuned, and if you didn't have capped fire as in Docks, you were dead. We've been through all of this nonsense, right? And the idea that, oh, this guy has a slightly different opinion, therefore he must be a complete clown, it's not necessarily true, mate. That's my opinion on the game. I don't think it's as bad as people are making out, and if that upsets you, then that upsets you, and you're going to have to deal with it. GGG worked pretty hard. Yes, they could test more. Yes, they could do all of this, but let's be honest, if they'd have frozen the game for 2 extra months before they released this, there'd have still have been bugs, because that's how the game works. And you'd have moaned that they didn't do the time. That you'd have said, oh, if there's still bugs, what were they doing with the extra 2 months? So yeah, that's all I've really got to say.